you sure I know how? Are you sure that I'm ready to drive this car now? You said I'm right here beside you, and you're gonna do fine. All you gotta do is keep between the lines. 'Cause it's a long, narrow road. Only the good Lord knows where it leads in the end. But you got to begin. Well, hello everybody. This is Arson Marsubian, host of the Papa Soob Says Show, August the 27th, 2020. I think this is show number 32. You know, I got a little late this morning. Didn't get a chance to maybe write out a script or topic. I was with my oldest son, Brad, at a doctor's appointment. So I took him out. And we've been together the last couple of days going to doctor's appointments and doing some of his work. And we've had a chance to talk a little bit about politics and listen to some of the talk shows about what's going on. You know, I've had 20 years in the city of Fresno government. And 4 or 5 of those years I spent as the special assistant to the mayor on governmental affairs. So everything that had to do with the federal government and the city, the county and the city, state and the city, I was the appointed staff person to advise and assist the mayor. I had an opportunity to meet great people and really see how the bureaucracy works in D.C., in Sacramento, and at the county level. So I've been a political junkie for most of my life. I have a special certificate in public administration. So this is not a subject that's foreign to me. And I've listened, and I was a Democrat for years and years. My mom was a lifelong Democrat. But that's a different party. It's a different title than what it is today. It was the passion. It's a party of passion, young people, poor people. Not today. They want to use those people and still talk to those people and have them be a part of their party, but they just want to use them to glorify their own way. So let me start with one thing that's really very controversial, I guess. Black Lives Matter. You know, I want to say, first of all, I think that's a great slogan. I believe in it. I think Black Lives Matter. I believe unborn babies' lives matter. But the organization, if you look into it, it's Black Lives Matter Global Foundation. And that organization is a known, admitted Marxist organization. Their purpose is to overthrow the United States government and make it a Marxist country. Now, I don't say that lightly. The facts backed it up. You look at the website, 3 young ladies that started it. They get 71% of the donations that go to that organization. And they're behind a tremendous amount of ill will that we see in this country that's by design. It's not a mistake. It's a great slogan, terrible organization. So you got to be careful what you're buying into. One gentleman, George Soros, very, 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 very wealthy man who hates this country. capitalism, even though he's made all his money with it, has given $31 million to help promote Black Lives Matter. The current candidate for the Democratic Party is really beholden to that organization, and so is its vice president. You know, we have a current president that I'm proud to say that I support. I've watched him. It was kind of, I thought it was a joke, like a lot of people when he first came down that escalator and said he was going to run for president. I thought, you got to be kidding me. You don't know anything about politics other than to give them money on both sides to protect yourself. You don't know anything about it. But then I remembered a show that he did with Oprah Winfrey. Sorry, I pronounced that name. About 20 years ago, when he was a young man. And she asked him if he ever decided to run for president. And his comment was he would never run for president, only if he thought the country needed him and that he would be elected. Well, we saw it 3.5, 4 years ago. He ran. He beat a lot of professional politicians. Why? Because the average American, like you and me, we're tired of people telling us what to do. Regulations, stagnating business, hurting everything that made this country really a great country, the country that I grew up in. You know, in '85, I've seen a lot of administrations and a lot of things. And I want to tell you that this man, our current president, works harder than anybody I've ever seen in that office. When we see him on television with a suit and tie, if you saw him at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and he was working, he'd have a suit and tie on. He's a professional. He works 24 hours a day. He has to accomplish all the things that he does and all the people in the lives that he touches. It's a clear choice, but it's not really a choice between a Joe Biden and a Donald Trump. What this election is about is where we should have been for years and years. But back in the late 50s, 60s, 70s, the notion came along about let's vote for the person that I like, person that I think is the most qualified. We really didn't pay much attention to the, quote, party platforms, the traditional party where you went to conventions and they put planks in their platform so you knew what they stood for. What were they standing on? What was their message? What were they going to try to accomplish? All of that was in the platform. And so you could get involved in that, put your voice in there, and the structure, put it together. But the parties then drifted apart and really weren't parties. And so it became a personality contest. But let me urge you today to think about getting back to the real structure of democracy and the political system. Look at the platform that each person is standing on and is committed to follow. Not just the personality, if you like him or don't like him. Everybody likes Joe. 47 years proves it. He was able to get reelected year after year after year. Why? Because people liked him. He's a nice guy. Donald Trump is brash. If you really want to know Donald Trump, read Bill O'Reilly's book, The United States of Trump. You understand the man, his background, his family, where he comes from, what he thinks about. It's not a good or a bad book about President Trump. It's just the facts of who he is. So when you see that and know that he came from the streets of New York, where if you hit me, I hit you twice as hard. The battle of the streets. When the media attacked him, he went after him. Instead of, like most politicians, cowered down, try to change the narrative, try to appease everybody. He doesn't. He's obnoxious sometimes. He has no filter in what he says because it's from his heart, it's from his mind and his thoughts. That's what he's thinking. But the platform and the party, the Republican Party, is standing for the values of America. What I grew up in: freedom, opportunity. I know these are just great words, but without those things, most of us wouldn't have all the stuff that we have. Democratic Party has turned into a party for social and socialism beliefs and programs. Look them up. They want to control everything. Joe Biden said if he was president, first thing he would do was mandate everybody wear a mask all the time. Doesn't that sound like somebody who wants to control your life? And if he can get you to wear a mask just because he says so, and mandate it, not suggest it, mandate. That's not the country I want my children, my grandchildren, or my great-grandchildren to grow up in. He's not the best talker, but he's the best doer. So I'm voting for and asking you to support Donald J. Trump for President of the United States. Thank you very much. This is Papa Soob. I love you all. Make the right choice because your life matters. Good night. See you next Tuesday. Love you.